4, November Oscar Kilo from Oscar Romeo 4, India Sierra Sierra, how copy, over. Oscar November 4, November Oscar Kilo from the International Space Station, how copy, over. I've got you loud and clear. Hello Belgium, glad to talk to you through such a direct line, and welcome for the first question, over. Oh, that is a very good question right at the beginning. You know, I think it's both. If we look out in space, it's very, very black, and we realize there's not much out there in our region. But then also, we know that probably there's more stars out there than grains of sand on the Earth. So if you walk on a beach and pick up a handful of sand, then think about those worlds out there. There's more of them. That makes it a pretty interesting place. So maybe it's a little bit like looking out on the sea. Some say it's just like blue water, but others see more. Others see beyond the horizon, and they want to know what's out there. And I guess I'm the second type. Over. Alexander, yes, I can, but I think you might be disappointed by the answer because weightlessness is very, very normal after a while. So if you were up here with me, we would be talking just floating in weightlessness, but we wouldn't think anything about it because we get used to it so quickly. The human body is amazing in how it adapts to things. So some things are harder in weightlessness because everything wants to float away, so my pens and my spoons always want to float away, but also on the other hand, you can carry heavy things without any effort, just with one finger, and that makes it very convenient. Over. Hey Jonathan, I think it's a good thing that you're worried about this because this is something that we all need to be worried about. Yes, we can see some impacts like glaciers in the mountains getting shorter or lakes drying out. That's climate change. I guess from up here when we look down on this planet, it becomes very obvious that everything that we have down finite, that has an end. It's not endless, right? So everything that we use, all the resources in the ground, or even the air that we breathe, the energy, it all has an end. So I think we should change our way of viewing things to make sure we treat them accordingly. Over. Hey Kat. Oh, I had a lot of children's dreams. So one of them was floating to space, but I had a few other things that I wanted to try. Also, I wanted to be a scientist. I also wanted to be a firefighter. So I tried the various things, and in the end, I became an astronaut. But I think it's not so important to become what we wanted to be as a child, because sometimes those things change. I think it's important that every decision that we take in life, we do it in a way that we do what the things we like, and that makes also that we're good at those things. And if we have opportunities, that we take advantage of them. So if something comes your way that you like to do and you think you would be good at it, well, give it a try and don't give up. Over. Well, before I was flying to space, I might have been but having been up here in space, away from our lovely planet Earth, I realized that I'm a human, I belong to Earth. I like to go out and have adventures. I like to go out to explore, right, the universe. I like to see different things. But in the end, I'd like to come back to our planet Earth because it's so beautiful and it's so valuable. And it's the only place that we have that is so special. So if I knew I will not be able to come back, I guess I would not go. But then, of course, when we go to Mars, and I would love to go there, there's always a risk that something goes wrong. So this is something else. We understand that if we fly to space, then something could always happen, and we have a risk that we cannot come back. That is, I think, for me, okay. But if somebody told me you're not allowed to come back right from the beginning, I would not go. Over. Yeah, okay, I'm unfortunately not the real expert on music matters, but my colleagues up here, Sergey, he has a guitar and he's really good at playing the guitar in the inside of the space station. On the outside, that wouldn't work. You're completely right, because there's no air, so nobody would hear it and there would not be sounds generated by the instruments. So music is unfortunately limited to the inside of the space station. Over. Yeah, Adrian, that's really a problem for us, of course, because we need to bring all the water that we use. We bring that from Earth, and that is heavy, of course, and it's not easy to bring all that up here. That's why we're trying to conserve the water as much as possible and reuse also the old water. So we have a very good life support system that even reuses the water from urine. It makes it very clean again, and then we can reuse it. I don't think it's the same that works on Earth. Over. Hey, Lauren. So on the inside we have about 21 degrees. It's really nice. We can float around in t-shirts. But on the outside, we cannot measure temperature because vacuum does not have a temperature. We can just measure the surface temperature of the space station, and that varies. If it's in the sun, it's about plus 130 Celsius, so more hot than boiling water. And if it's in the shade, it can cool down to minus 130, so it's very, very cold. And every time we fly around the Earth, that changes, of course. Over. Oh, really good question, Maya. We do a lot of molten metal mix up. We can only do that up here where those metals mix up nicely. If we try the same experiment on the ground, it would not work. There's no way to perform those experiments on Earth. Or another one is, for example, look at cancer cells. So we grow cancer tumors in a way, and they grow differently from Earth. On Earth, they're in a petri dish. They're two-dimensional, flat, but up here they form like little spheres. And that's much more similar to how a tumor looks in the body. So actually up here we can test medication much better than down there on Earth, because up here we have more realistic conditions. And that's just two examples for so many. All the experiments that we do up here are not possible on Earth at all. Over. Oh, that's a difficult question. I don't know which one. We did so many. I mean, we have more than 100 already. I think one of the ones that I'm most